Curse of the 5 Coffins. This is a true story which had been happened in my village 9 years ago. Even until now, everyone got scared when thinking of it. That year, for opening farmlands, our people had to fill a slope at the east of the village. While the excavators were working, there was likely something weird underneath the ground surface. "Mr. James, please come to see." Noah, one of the workers who controlled the excavator, called Mr. James, the construction leader, to check out and bounce opinions from him. Mr. James gazed at what the excavator had dug out. That was a giant coffin there in the middle of the slope. In the countryside, like our village, there were many death burials in the past, so that must have been normal when there was a coffin found like that. Mr. James thought that was not a big issue, so he asked them to continue the work. "This is just a coffin. Dig it out and move it to somewhere." After then, the workers had dug some more coffins at the slope. "Mr. James, there is another here." Another and another coffin had been found. "How come?" Once all those coffins had been found around, Mr. James looked at them and sensed that must have been something wrong. There were 5 coffins in total, and they had been placed in 5 different directions, which looked like 5 petals of a flower. At that moment, Mr. James asked 2 guys to guard those coffins. One guy came to call the mayor, and another guy came to see the blind old man Uncle William. They didn't have to come to William's place. Coincidentally, Uncle William had walked by the blind William here already. Benjamin let James know. William was James's uncle. He had well known in the village as a great prophet. He could see the dead people. Whenever the villagers got some spiritual or haunted issues, they always came to ask for Uncle William's help. "Who is blind?" "I'm not blind." "What happened?" He objected to people once he heard the others called him blind. He was not blind at all. His vision wasn't good, and he always wore heavy sunglasses, which made him look blind. His nearly blind eyes were extraordinary. They could see the deaths. The assistant took Mr. William to James's place. "Mr. James, as you asked." James hurriedly told Mr. William, "Uncle William, we dug out 5 coffins here. Please help us see if this is a bad sign. If so, how could we handle this?" Uncle William raised his sunglasses, looked carefully at the 5 coffins, then shook his head. "This is not good. It senses not good at all. I could see the strong yin here. All of the people there could sense a heavy atmosphere. Might be that was because of the yin, as Uncle James mentioned. As far as I know, our ancestors had placed 5 coffins as a 5 lotuses petals to placate the yin here. This could not be moved, or else bad thing would come to us," he explained. He added, "Those coffins must be kept like this. If we touch them, every year, we have to sacrifice 5 people. You guys better bury them back." James and all of the workers there got frightened at that moment. If what William was talking about was the truth, that was such a horrible curse. While everyone was talking about reburying those coffins, a familiar voice to them had been raised. "What is happening here? James?" That was the mayor. People there had stared at the mayor and told him, "Mayor, we're unable to fill this place out. We got in trouble. If we move those 5 coffins, our village will have 5 deaths every year, so we better stop here and bury them back." The mayor didn't care about what the workers were talking about. He came directly to James with a serious face. "What is that? How could you believe a prophet and slow down our job? But in this situation, I don't know what to do, so I came to Uncle William to find a solution," James faltered. "What a superstitious. We're living in modern life. You don't have to listen to an old prophet like that. Let's continue to conduct the filling progress." As a result, James had to lead the excavators team to move 5 coffins out. "Guys, let's continue our jobs, move those 5 coffins to the cemetery." At that moment, Uncle William tried to stop them in panic. "No. You gotta listen to me. Don't move them out." But the excavator team had picked those coffins up. "Uncle William, that was Mayor's command. We had to finish our job. Could you please step out?" "No, James. If you do this, you gotta regret." "Enough. Uncle William, I need my job. You should head back." James asked his assistant Benjamin to take him home afterward. "Benjamin, take him home, please." Uncle William insisted and didn't want to leave. He nearly screamed out and yelled at them when he saw those coffins had been picked up. "Please, stop there. Trust me. We have to sacrifice 5 men every year. You gotta regret this." Even Benjamin and another young man had pulled him out, but Uncle William still tried to yell those words. No one listened and believed him. He was unable to change. The trucks had pulled those coffins to the cemetery. Shortly, the slope had been filling to be farmland, which was all the beginning of the disaster. That year, there were actually 5 people who had died. The first one was Oliver, a fisherman. He used electricity for fishing, brought a 100 to 500 voltage battery in his body, and used 2 bamboo sticks to electrify the water, making an electric field around him. Fishes would get an electric shock and be paralyzed so that he could collect them easily. He had been fishing for 2 years. He had never made mistakes, but weirdly, that night, he had been shocked by his voltage battery. Oliver got paralyzed then died instantly. The following day, people saw his dead body was floating in the river. He still brought the voltage battery in his body. The second one was a young man. His name was Noah. He was working at a cooperative agriculture day by his motorbike. There was a turn in Noah's way home. Noah was born and raised in the village. He had driven through that turn 1,000 times, but he got an accident that particular day. His motorbike's wheels had been outed of its rail. He felt out, and his head had hit a rock in the street, instantly died. The third case was Lucas. He had a happy, harmonized family, and abundant life. One morning, his wife had not seen him. She thought her husband had gone to work as usual, but she had scared to death when stepping out of the house. She saw her husband hanging himself in front of their doorstep. That was terrible. His death was too sudden. No one could explain the reason. At that moment, people started to notice and discussed that they were supposed those deaths must have related to the 5 coffins earlier. There were 3 deaths consecutive in our village. There was also some positive thinkings, just coincidences. I don't think so. Before those coffins had been dug out, our village was very peaceful, wasn't it? There have been no funerals in a few years already. But all of a sudden, 3 people have died. This must be so unusual. Yeah, this is so horrible. The others started to be scared as well. Finally, they tended to see the mayor. We have to talk to the mayor. Some of them came to see the mayor. They knocked on the door. What do you guys want? The mayor came out. People worriedly told the mayor their opinions. Our village got 3 unexpected deaths already. That just because of the 5 coffins earlier, mayor. Right, there would be 2 more deaths soon. We came here to let you know. You have to come to see Uncle William. There is only him know how to fix this. The villagers worried who could be the next ones to die. Everyone could be the next ones. Everyone feared that they might be themselves. The mayor got irritated with them. He strolled with the 2 hands clasped behind his back. Listen, don't keep that backward tradition and mindset. The 3 deaths recently were just unexpected accidents. I know no one wanted that to happen. If I heard one more about this trash talk again, you would take your punishments. People had been disappointed after hearing the mayor's words. One by one had left his house. They had thought that was a serious situation. They came to see the blind William. If the mayor doesn't take this seriously, we gotta find Uncle William by ourselves. Let's go. Right. Only William could give us the solution now. Let's go find him." Then some of them brought cigarettes, wines, and fruits to the blind William. He was so surprised when people came to see him. "What are you doing? What happened?" "Uncle William, we come here today and give you those offerings. We all know there are only you could help us to resolve the curse about the 5 coffins." The leader was on behalf of the villagers to tell him what happened. They were so afraid about the others' deaths, so insisted the old man break the curse. As usual, he would give a happy smile and willingly help, but that time was different. He dismissed them. "No way I could help you. I was unable to break the curse." Villagers begged him by any prices. "Uncle William, how could you say that? There is no one, but you could help us, please. How could you stand there and see your people got haunted and die every year?" Uncle William explained, hopelessly. "First didn't say I don't want to help you. I said I was unable to help, that had been set. I'm unable to change. The yin is too strong now. Nothing could settle it down. Just hope God would bless us." People continued to convince the fortune teller, but he was so determined about unable to help. Finally, no hope. Even Uncle William got no solutions. "We gotta wait for the disaster to come by." At that moment, Uncle William started to tell his predictions. "This is gonna be fine. It will be ended in the next 2 years. I could see it's gonna end after the next 2 years. There would be a change in our village. All of the people who have seen the 5 coffins moving that day will all die. I'm unable to see what happens next because I'm one of them. I'm gonna die before its end." That year, John had died. He had fallen out from the mountain on his way to pick the herbs. The 5th dead was Anthony, a truck driver. He passed away after an accident, so there really 5 people for that year. The second year, 5 people who had been there at the moving coffins day had dead, as Uncle William said. That year, Uncle William had passed away because of his lung cancer. There was indeed a change. That village then turned to be a place for execution. The sinners had been taken there for execution by firing squad. Every year, executions had been taken there. People realized that there were always 5 executions every year. They don't know that is just a coincidence or curse.